All right. Hi. I'm Dmitry Fonarev. I'm a co-founder and CEO of TestCube. And I'm here to talk about how scaling test automation in the cloud-native world is different, or why it should be different. Why cloud native is different as far as we are concerned? Lots of things are changing. We got microservices, the CI/CD pipelines, we have different environments, and we have a tremendous proliferation of all sorts of CI/CD testing tools, and we'll talk about AI at the end. So what that means is that the complexity of how people test their software, how people are testing their microservices, APIs, front ends, load testing, performance testing, et cetera, multiplied by all these variables and permutation is just growing and growing exponentially. What does that all lead to? Well, it leads to many people, as we can see, or that's our hypothesis, are trying to, what did I do? I was here. Many people are trying to figure out how they enable different teams, how they empower different teams, whether they're development teams, test teams, platform, DevOps teams, to do more quality shipping faster, easier. So basically we are saying, okay, well, so imagine if any team could launch any kind of test whenever they want, wherever they wanted. It's making sounds. Oh. Okay. All right. What if teams were not, well, what if CI/CD systems were not slowing down your development pipelines? What if running or scheduling tests was available to anybody? What if you can orchestrate thousands of tests as easily as you can do one? What if you could leverage your existing infrastructure as opposed to third-party testing platforms to run any test automation that you have? And what if you had a unified view of all your testing logs, artifacts in one dashboard? And what if you could scale your test automation using natural language? So we built a purpose test orchestration and execution platform. TestCube, what's different about TestCube? So we're decoupling test automation from CI/CD. Nothing against CI/CD systems. We love them. Our hypothesis is that they were not built to run test automations. They were built to run continuous integration, continuous deployments, as it said. And many teams want to run their tests outside of CI/CD pipelines and not bother or overload DevOps and platform teams with writing custom scripts, et cetera, to kick off your tests. TestCube is Kubernetes native. What that means is that we essentially take any kind of test automation you may have, and we run those tests as Kubernetes jobs and as CRDs. We have a centralized dashboard to collect all your results. And as I mentioned, we are tools agnostic, so we can run any testing tool, whether it's a third-party tool or even homegrown scripts that you may have. Some people even test their internal infrastructure with those things. So that's us. We sit on top of CI/CD pipelines, we abstract testing from CI/CD pipelines, and we enable testing anywhere for any team. We come from the open source background as well. Our agent that lives inside a cluster is open source. And then there is a control plane dashboard that helps people manage multiple agents and do orchestration across different teams, different environments, if that's what people want. And of course, who doesn't talk about AI nowadays? We have an MCP server recently released. We have AI capabilities inside the product. We are enabling a couple of interesting use cases with that too. You may have heard of the self-healing loop, where from an IDE, people could execute, developers mostly, could execute any type of test. And then with a Git type MCP server, they could change the code as they need to, and then those tests get rerun. Or people could do load testing for their developers who may not be load experts, et cetera, et cetera. And if that's something that resonates with you, we'd love to give you a very purple plushie and talk to you more about that. Thank you.